your turn to...
Oh, is it for me?
Consider yourself fired.
Why are you winking at me?
Consider yourself fired.
Hello, and welcome to the JT and Drew Show. I'm JT.
And I'm Drew.
And we're two nobodies talking about nothing.
Consider yourself fired.
Welcome back to the JT and Drew Show. I'm JT.
And he's not Drew. I am.
Yes. Cool. Welcome back, bud. Welcome back. I haven't seen you in a while. Not that I can see you now, but I haven't seen you in a while.
Well, if you just turn around.
Oh, yeah.
Just kidding.
Just
kidding. Turn yourself back around.
No, honey, you getting all there.
Guess I get what I asked for, huh?
That's true.
But yeah, man, I've been doing great.
I didn't ask.
If you can tell by the sound of my voice, I'm just sick of missing you.
Are you though?
Well, the first half of that I am. The second half, not so much.
That's good. Yeah. Well, just sick. I'm terribly sorry.
Yeah.
How's your? I don't even want to ask anymore because that was really rude of you, and I'm almost offended.
Can you be offended? It's 2021. Can you? I don't know the rules.
I don't either. I wasn't.
Don't you owe me something? I don't know. Who knows? I'm not keeping score.
Reparations.
I'm about 48 shades too light for that.
All right. Did you go to Lowe's and find out? Did you go to the...
We'll be editing all of that out. Our show is not popular enough to sustain those injuries just yet.
Our show is not popular enough so we can say stuff like that.
Yeah. But yeah, thanks for having me back on the show, man. I'm super excited. I know you had mentioned that there were a couple things that you wanted to talk about.
Yeah, man.
Something about like your something you were used to be into or something. It was a hobby. I don't remember.
I don't know why you would introduce it like that. No, I had a couple of subjects that popped into the noodle not too long ago. And I know this is kind of more like a spooky season kind of a theme, but we know how my brain works. And, I kind of wanted to talk about the paranormal. And, yeah, just kind of things and...
I see dead people.
All right, Bruce Willis. And another one that is in our description, but we haven't talked about it yet on the podcast. You and me have had this discussion a lot, and it's pineapple on pizza.
Yep. Can I get an amen on that?
No,
one? Pineapple belongs on pizza.
And ladies and gentlemen, I am so sorry that you have to hear this, but it's going to be like a 4-hour show of Drew and I just nipple slapping each other about this subject, and I'm so sorry.
Look, for every listener that emails us and agrees that pineapple belongs on pizza, I will get JT to keep his shirt on for the next show.
You can't do that. You can't control my life.
I know your life. I pay your taxes.
You don't keep the lights on at night, though.
No. Well, yeah, it's cheaper that way. But yeah, man, pepperoni.
Yeah, no, pepperoni all
on
the way.
Pepperoni
man.
Pizza.
Nope, you said it. Pepperoni all the way.
It is delicioso. To put it in my native tongue. Just kidding, it's English. But yeah, it's great.
Well, that's good. So, and also, again, I don't know how you do this, but we have a special guest.
We do indeed.
How did you get this? How did you get this person on the show?
Is the Pope Catholic, JT?
No.
There's your answer. Wait. No. Yes.
Oh, you said the Pope. Sorry.
Yeah. So, yeah, you're absolutely right, though. We were able to get this special guest, very last minute, have you? And it was no easy feat. Let me tell you, her schedule was just booked up crazy.
But yet you
but
managed to get her.
Somehow, yeah, she agreed to do the show. I did tell her that you would pay her cash up front, so I'll let you handle that piece. But anyways, without further ado, ladies and gentlemen, we have joining us today, Jessica. It's fine.
Jessica.
Hey guys, thanks for letting me be here. Thanks for letting me come out of the hole.
Thanks.
I really needed some sunshine.
You've been behaving lately, so you deserve this.
You have, yeah. Jessica, it's great to see you. Thanks for coming on the show.
Thanks for having me, man.
Of course. We have a couple of touchy subjects that we would...
for the record,
yeah.
I'm sitting here with Drew. Pineapple absolutely belongs on pizza.
Okay, we haven't gotten there yet, and you need to shut your mouth, okay?
Okay.
So
All right.
the price just went up. As her manager,
Don't make me go back in the hole.
No, you're fine.
Listen,
We're gonna
Jessica.
put JT in the hole.
I got a magazine, okay? I didn't get your magazine, but I got a magazine. It puts lotion on its skin.
Yes,
We're gonna put JT in the hole, and he can't come out until he eats.
You don't want
pineapple on
me
his
in that
pizza.
Yeah, but
hole.
if you give him lotion, he's going to come out sticky, and it's just going to be really awkward.
Oh, we don't need to talk about that time in Bangladesh.
Yeah. Where was that at?
Banging your flesh. Bangladesh.
So Bangladesh gets a tea, but guest doesn't.
I like my tea like I like my harbors. Wet.
Sweet. Oh, what?
And full of ships or semen.
Yeah. Ooh.
Anyways,
That's usually the sound it makes, too. You're welcome.
I read the Cinderella story.
That's usually the sound he makes. What's that?
Not always.
Oh.
It's a different world now.
No.
So Jessica, would you care to talk about the two subjects that we have at hand? One, paranormal, and then obviously pineapple on pizza, which you both are commies and
Yeah, I'll start with
paranormal.
Yeah, so my the house that I grew up in, my parents' house that they currently still live in, is haunted. There've only been two owners in the house, the people who built it, and then my parents. And the man who owned the house built the house, and he died of a massive heart attack in the house. And so his spirit is still there, which rightfully so. I mean, like, it was their family home. He built it with his hands. You know, he spent a lot of time in there. But he is pretty harmless. You know, nothing crazy. I think it's just like a residual kind of thing.
Okay.
I'm a firm believer in, like, spirits who come to visit or come to say their final goodbyes. And I think that that's also a thing. But in that area, there are Indian burial grounds.
Okay.
And across the highway from where my parents live, they developed a brand new golf course, like a really nice one, like PGA.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. And when they were developing that, they disturbed some of the Indian burial grounds. So it stirred some up.
Yeah, stirred some stuff up, huh?
So, yeah, I think activity has kind of, in that area, has gone up just a tad.
How long ago did they build
But
the golf course?
20 years ago, maybe.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, they didn't really start sponsoring, like, huge PGA tours there until maybe, like, 10, 15 years ago.
Okay.
I wouldn't even say then, but it takes a while to Caddyshack that kind of place, you know what I mean? So,
Yeah.
like, you can hear footsteps upstairs when you're downstairs, and the lights will turn off, and the radio will pop on when you're watching TV, and you're like, what the hell?
Yeah.
And if you're home alone, you know, it kind of freaks you out. But at the same time, like, we've lived there they've lived there for so long. Even when we go home and visit, like, stuff will happen, and like, oh, it's just whatever his name was. I think it was John or something. No, it's just John. It's okay. It's no big deal. So
Interesting.
Yeah, very interesting.
Yeah.
Very interesting.
What about you, Drew? What's your take?
My take is I think it's all very interesting. We were talking about earlier the Anson lights.
Oh yeah. Well,
And that's a big one here in like the West Texas area. And they had what was it, like the Ghost Adventures and these other different like paranormal groups come out and investigate and whatnot. And it was very interesting because I've been out there a few times and seen it for myself and not been able to debunk it. And if I'm not mistaken, when they came out, they weren't able to debunk it, but nobody can explain it either.
So, what are these Anson lights?
So there's or do you want to go ahead, JT?
no, man. This is
Okay.
your area, not mine. I already debunked it, but whatever.
Yeah, I don't trust your eyes. That's not a white joke either.
My brown eyes.
Oh, I have brown eyes.
It's because you're full of salsa.
Yeah, they are salsa colored brown. But anyway, so you're out in Anson. There's this old cemetery. Story is something to the effect of this mom let her kids go out and play, and she told them, hey, on your way home, if you get lost, flicker your lantern, and I'll know that that's you needing help, and I'll come and find you. Well, they ended up dying, all of them. So the story goes, if you go down past this cemetery on this dirt road, you turn your vehicle around. If you flash your lights and then wait and turn them off, she comes out because she thinks that you're her children and that you are, summoning her to, hey, we're lost, come find us. And you'll see this little like flicker of light in the distance. But when you drive closer to it, probably like halfway the distance that you started out at, the light disappears. Now, off of that cemetery is a main road that intersects, and I've seen it where cars have driven past, but that light is in front of those cars.
Mm-hmm.
JT has seen it where the cars have driven past and the light disappears and comes back and whatnot, indicating that the light was on the other side of the road. I've been down there several times and seen it, but I cannot explain it either.
You said several
Sure.
when you first started. You said a few. How many times have you been there?
Are you Democrat now?
I'm just trying to get the story straight, man.
I'm saying more than 3.
Okay.
I would consider a few, 3 or more, several, the same boat.
Several sounds like a big gas bill.
Several sounds like a big gas bill.
Yeah, like you paid a lot of gas to get there. Like
I paid several gas?
Yeah.
That doesn't even make sense.
Exactly. Your story makes no sense. So it's not.
Yeah.
There's a hill on the other side of the highway that is just tall enough for 18-wheelers to go past it. But
Nope.
the light looks like
I read
it's
that article
in
too.
the field. And it's not in the field.
Nope.
It's on the other side of the highway.
Mm-mm.
Is it my turn? Are we coming around to my
No, it's not
my
your turn
side of
yet.
the table?
So one more, because Miss Jessica here brought up an interesting point about Indian burial grounds.
Okay.
You don't mess with them.
So Lake Fort Phantom.
Oh
I don't know if you
yeah,
guys
that's a
know
good
the history out there or not.
Mm-hmm.
So me in my younger days, I downloaded a ghost detector app on my phone, and it has
Oh yeah, that's really smart.
it had a radar.
I bet it worked.
It had a radar,
great.
and it would show you, they tell you in the little description, based on the electromagnetic blah, 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 and you get little blips that'll pop up, and it'll show you if it's near or far or whatever. Cool, it looks like the one they have on TV. So we're driving around Lake Fort Phantom at night, and we're all got our little apps up, and we're talking to it, and we're trying to see who, what, when, where, why. And, it'll pop up with words, right? And if a ghost hits a certain frequency, then this word will pop up. That's how it works on TV.
Oh yeah, so it must be real.
Mm-hmm. That has to be. So I'm getting words pop up here and there. I'm getting words like muddy, chief, princess, Indian. It's not making any sense or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
Get back home, do a little bit of research, and find out in that area near Lake Fort Phantom where the ruins are and whatnot, that there was in fact a story about a Indian chief and his princess daughter, and this road out there, I guess that was called Muddy Waters or something, and putting all these puzzle pieces together, and it freaked me out. It was a interesting experience.
All right.
Interesting.
Okay. I'm sorry, JT. You have your moment here in just a second. I just want to ask a question
For the table or just Drew?
for the table. Have you guys heard of the black-eyed children here in Abilene?
Yes.
The black-eyed children?
Black-eyed children.
You're talking about the children on the railroad tracks?
No.
Oh.
Maybe. I don't know. But I've heard. So I watched like this show on some stupid has like a Discovery or
Travel
whatever.
Channel.
Not Discovery, Travel Channel something. And it was about a guy who was down at the theater, the one that you just went to, and he was writing a check or something for his rent and was going to deposit it or whatever, and these two black-eyed children came up to his car and was like, "Hey, can you give us a ride?" And he was like, "What the hell's wrong with these kids?" So he was like, "No, you can't open, no, I'm not going to give you a ride." They're like, "Come on," and trying to and he said that he could subconsciously feel him trying to unlock the door. And he was like, "Wait, no, I don't want to do that." But so the lore goes, if you let these black-eyed children into your house, you're never seen or heard of again.
So I've heard that story in other states as well. I thought you were talking about the children who, if you go to this certain place and stop your car on the railroad tracks, you'll have these kids push your car off the railroad tracks.
Oh, I've seen that one.
Yeah.
They put powder on the trunk.
Yeah.
You get,
It's the oil
handprints.
from your fingers.
Yeah.
Yeah. And it's called gravity.
Now, why would people be afraid
Wild.
of black guys' children?
Not black guys' children. Black
It's 2021.
Eyed, like your eyes.
Oh,
Yeah,
okay. Yeah.
So-
I
Have
thought
you-
she was being racist.
Like demon children.
Yes.
Like honest to goodness, soulless children is what they were referring. That's what he explained them as. Like there was no white parts of their eyeballs.
Yeah.
It was all
It's all
black.
Yeah. Because they have the black-eyed mans, too, who try to get into your house. Yeah. Yeah, it's
I was
just
thinking about him when I went to go get this out of the truck. I was like, "Oh my god, what if one just sneaks up on me right now?" Ah!
so.
I don't even have my pew pew.
Well, you need his headband is what you need. You missed it.
I know.
Yeah, there we go.
Give you a little flower power. Maybe you get some soul back in you. All right, tell us your story.
Are we ready? Are we ready for
Yeah, I'm
mine?
ready for it.
Well, we're ready
Yes.
to hear the BS that you
Saving
had to
the
make
best
up
for
while we were
last.
And
talking.
I have a feeling that I'm going to get crap from Drew my entire segment because I gave him crap on his. So
Oh, come on. You know me too well.
I know, Darren. I used to do this for not a living, but for a hobby, where I went out and attempted to make contact with the paranormal. And it started out when I was a kid on my grandmother's farm, my great grandmother's farm, and her land had Indian burials on it too. And I've kind of noticed, not really a trend, but all across the Midwest, Southwest, all that stuff there's a lot of Indian burials. Now, granted, they had like 10,000 years to bury people, so I'm sure everywhere is Indian burials. Not saying that that's any more or less of a impact, but when I was a kid, it started out where I got up from my great-granddad's bedroom, went into the kitchen, grabbed some water, and as I was walking back, I see this figure up on the window glowing with no head. And I was like, and soused my pants, and I hid under the covers for the rest of the night. Didn't sleep, but just hid under the covers. And that kind of intrigued me on what is this stuff. One and only time I've ever seen something. So many moons later, I get stationed up in Missouri. And I'm sitting there thinking, oh, Missouri has got a bunch of history as far as this goes. I get back from my last deployment, and I go up to a house called the Anderson House, which the Anderson House is an old Civil War house that they had a little battle, that 3-day battle. And I have a magnet, so I know it's a real battle. And they kind of go through this house, and they tell you all about it and all the history of it. Well, I've got these 2 video cameras, And my brother's got one, and I accidentally left one in the vehicle with my parents, but my brother's got one, and we're panning around this room. We walk into the room that's called the pink room. And in the pink room, you just hear people walk into the room, and then all of a sudden, you hear like a mumble, like a blah, 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 and then a real loud, yes, sir. That's it. That's all you hear. And it wasn't anybody on the tour. Now, I know if you weren't in the tour, you didn't know what people sounded like, but it wasn't anything that was a part of the tour. I cut that video and I loaded that onto the Tube of You many moons ago, and I believe it's actually still on my Facebook, where you can hear it, but you have to have headphones to hear it. Like if you just use your computer speakers, it doesn't really come up. So I did that, and then I got my friend, who I will give a shout out to. I know she doesn't listen to this podcast, but if she ever did, she'll hear this. Her name was Kippy, and her and I used to go into cemeteries, and we used to just walk around with recorders and whatnot. I felt cold spots in there. There was one that was just north of a town called Warrensburg, where I was touched and had bruises or a burn mark or whatever you want to call it on my spine, which was pretty interesting that evening. And there's a few, but I'll just go over one. One was just me, Kippy and I. We were in a cemetery, and we were talking about headstones and, this is going to be us one day. People are going to come look at our headstones. And I get this, like, demonic female voice of, like, yes, yes. And it just, like, freaked me out when I went back on my recording and I heard it. And I, like, threw my headphones. I was like, nope, not me, not this guy. You're not getting my soul. And it was an eye-opener. So I've pretty much come up with a theory on what I think ghosts are and what I think they're capable of. And I say ghosts, the paranormal. What they're capable of, and then, kind of more or less either how you live with it or how to get rid of it and stuff like that. And I have my own theories on it, but having those experiences and actually trying to go out and find them was really interesting at that time. When we moved here to this town, we tried to get into the movie theater and get some recordings there, and they just absolutely said no. And I tried for about another year to, hey, has anybody ever heard anything? I went up to the Ants and Lights with Drew and a mutual friend of ours. And from what I saw, the Anderson Lights wasn't really much. However, I would not be
skeptic.
No, I wouldn't be. I would go back. I would go back to the Anderson Lights to try and see it again. But from what I saw, I already said that. I already said what I saw. So
sure.
But I absolutely enjoy it.
There's a guy named Vincent Amico, and he and his wife started a site called AZ Paranormal Investigations.
Mm-hmm.
And they kind of talk about their experiences as well, and some of their own theories. And one of the things that he takes issue with is the way that folks interpret the EVPs, or the electronic voice phenomena recordings.
Yeah.
So he was saying, based on his own experience, he and his wife going around, that in most cases that the words are almost impossible to make out with the static buzzing that goes on from those recorders. And he said a lot of times it's not anything more than background noise or changes in radio waves or frequencies or what have you.
Right. And I would totally agree with him 90% of the time.
And he points out that it's a lot of times, based on these TV shows anyway, has to do with suggestion, the power of suggestion.
Correct. Yep, I would agree with that.
Oh, yeah. When they play those recordings on, like, Ghost Adventures and whatever other paranormal, it's what they want you to hear. So when they play it, I don't even listen to what they say it is. I make my own interpretation of what I heard.
Usually
what they
it's
say
just a
and
fart.
what I hear, I know, right? Oh, my gosh, I just peed my pants. You know?
I'm like,
Did you
"Yeah,
feel this?
this-
Oh, I feel it's warm down my leg.
This ghost just had Taco Bell."
Do you smell that? It smells terrible. No, man, that was just me.
Yeah.
Well, and that's another
know what I
thing
mean?
he talks about. Excuse me. And again, these are these own people's their own theories or ideas or whatnot. But they talk about the uncomfortable reality that a lot of this stuff is illogical, and it's all left to interpretation, right?
Yeah.
None of it is really, hey, we have concrete proof that, when we find a cold spot or the temperature drops or I get goosebumps or this or that, like that is a ghost or paranormal or anything. It's more or less what we are determining it is in that moment.
Right. Well, in an 80-degree night, right?
Mm-hmm.
And you're just walking around and you're like, it's pretty hot. And then all of a sudden you get a chill go up your spine, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then right as the cold goes into your face and you go, and you can see your breath, but your arms are still sweating. Tell me.
I can get the goosebumps.
I have felt that. But then again, I was outside. I felt it. And it was like 80 degrees that night.
Okay.
And I had a temperature reader, right? The one of those laser point things.
Mm-hmm.
It indicated that the outside air was in the 80s, but that one spot was 30-something degrees, 36 degrees, I think it was.
Mm-hmm.
So,
but you still cannot.
I can't say it was a ghost. You are correct. I can't say it was a ghost. However, it was out of normal parameters of what it was.
Right. And he says here that
Paranormal.
just about any anomaly, anything that anyone considers odd for any reason, from an undetermined sound to a bad feeling to a blurry photo, can be and has been considered evidence of ghosts.
Yeah, and I get what he's saying, and he's completely right. For me personally, so like when you see on the videos, you're like, oh, look at the orbs. I don't trust orbs. Orbs could be dust.
I don't either.
What I do trust is from my own equipment, if I still had it, from my own equipment, from what I can see in that equipment or what I can hear from that equipment. And I'll give you an example. For the longest time, I had an audio clip that sounded like a trunk slamming down and being dragged across the Anderson house. Because we just sort of like left one of the digital recorders in there just to see for like 10 minutes. Well, come to find out on the video, there were lawn people cutting the grass. And I didn't look at the video for years. But I went back and looked at the video and I was like, oh, there's lawn people out here and he probably hit a stick. But I told people, oh, it sounds like a trunk and it's being dragged across the floor. And that's what it sounded like. But it probably wasn't. The lawn guy probably just hit a stick. And that was his blades kind of restarting.
Well, let me ask you this.
And then I cut that out. I was
Let
like,
me ask you this.
Since
you did this as a hobby, right?
Yeah.
I did it once or twice as a dummy. Why on the TV shows anyway? Why do people seem to do this more at nighttime? Is there a particular reason?
No.
Go ahead, Jessica, please.
There's scare factors. I mean, honestly, you get more drama out of it being nighttime than you do out of it being daytime. It's not going to matter whether it's night or daytime. It happens. So if you talk to like people who work in the bars who are haunted, they're actively at work during the day, like pubs and stuff. It doesn't necessarily have to be at night.
But do you think that people, maybe the average amateur who wants to dabble in this would, hey, I'm going to do the stereotypical, let me go when it's dark out, walk through the cemetery or through the abandoned house or whatever?
So I'm going to put this, hang on, I'm going to put this in air quotes, okay? I'm not a scientist. I have no science background. I love science, but I'm going to give you a couple of theories that I have heard, and it kind of makes sense to me.
Okay.
People do it at night because during the daytimes you have the sun throwing out a bunch of waves, light waves, radio waves, all that waves, right? It doesn't go away, but there's less of it at night, to where you could possibly pick up those EMPs, those EVPs, those whatever you need to pick up, the temperature flux, you have a higher chance of catching what that is. Does that necessarily mean that the activity is more or less at night? No, it's not. The reason people sit there and go, oh, it's only happening at night. Well, you have a job and you're not home during the day. So you're not seeing what's happening during the day. You're only seeing what's happening at night. And I think that's where people are like, oh, well, let's do all this stuff at night. The theory, again, is that you're getting less interference with the sun and everything else that goes out in space that hits the atmosphere and comes through. You're getting more of a true reading at night.
Well, on a less scientific approach, but a equally scientific approach, I think, like Jessica was saying, if you do it at night, the scare factor is there. Psychologically, your mind can play more on your emotions. I can remember being a little kid and sleeping in my room in the dark and seeing a shadow and freaking out to find out, oh, it's just a stuffed animal on the shelf.
Yeah, I mean, your mind definitely plays tricks on you, but I think you're also letting your guard down at the end of the day too. Like, it's time to rest and you're getting comfortable and, you're starting to let your subconscious.
But some of these guys that
take
do it for a
hold
profession, they're just dumb. That's their work time.
Right. They can get this exact same outcome if they were to go out at sunset. I think they would actually have better readings during those times because the sun's going down, so you still have the energy of the sun that's giving energy to these spirits. It's a whole energy force field type thing. It's been, I don't know.
Interesting.
Yeah, I think it's just for show, honestly. And for the newbies out there, like, probably go when the sun is still semi up, because especially if you're not going into a place that you've been before, for one, because you don't know the area well, so you want to be able to see it when it's lit. You're going to stub your toe or you're going to fall, and you're, like,
safety first.
Safety hazards. Yeah. 2, make sure you're not breaking and entering. Like, most cemeteries, you don't go to after dusk anyway.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you shouldn't be going there. Jumping any fences or walls or
don't do
trespassing, anything like that.
Don't be disrespectful. And if you want to go to a place that's a privately owned, ask them first before you just do it.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. And also, I would caution folks to do research. Come, draw your own conclusions and everything. The whole thing is very interesting to me. Again, there's no direct evidence that says, well, if you feel this or if you see that or whatever, that this is definitively what it is.
Yeah.
But then there's none that says necessarily that it isn't. But I think that there also is, demonic stuff out there and stuff that, don't know what you're doing or dabbling in it to have fun or whatnot. You might, come up with some.
Tread lightly.
Yeah, you don't want to. Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
So, like, we have a neighbor kid that's down the street who, like, she's into it, right? And I have a deck of tarot cards. I'm like, hey, no, ma'am. 1, no, I'm not your mom. 2, no, don't. Nope. Not on my terms. Also, I don't really even know what I'm doing with those. So, no. There's certain things that you can get into, but, like, be careful. Because, 1, your intention is everything. 2, there's things that you bring back after doing stuff like that they can mask themselves to be something they're not.
Sure.
And then you're stuck with something that's terrible, right? So I don't dabble as much as I used to because I have little kids in the house, So.
And JT doesn't dabble because he's white.
I'm not allowed to dabble.
That's what I got from that.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Yeah. That's
well,
good.
thanks.
No, that's very good information.
Very good.
Definitely never, ever, ever. Please never, please, for the love of God, never play with Ouija boards. Don't do it. Just don't.
Good word of advice.
Yeah, please don't.
One thing I did tell my dad when he gave me my Ouija board was he was like, hey, how'd that Ouija board work out for you? I was like, I didn't really do anything. I don't think the batteries were working. And he looked at me and said, that thing doesn't require batteries. And I went, exactly. We've been going on about this. I kind of want to change gears.
Yep.
Yeah.
And just get the controversial.
Pizza pineapple.
Yeah.
Real quick.
Oh.
Before we jump into that, we've
Okay.
got another quick tidbit on the things that make you go,
Ooh.
Things that make you go.
Oh. Brought to you by
The JT and Drew Show.
I got hit by a twin.
All right. So, if you didn't know the top selling vehicles in America, do y'all have any idea? Let's just say number one most selling vehicle in America, in the United States.
I'm going to go with sedan.
Okay. Sedan. Jessica?
Man, a minivan.
The minivan? Okay.
Shaggin' wagon.
Ooh, taking it back. You are both wrong. It is actually the Ford F-Series. It dominates sales in the Midwest and is the top-selling vehicle in 60% of the United States.
Found on road dead. Can't
Fix
change my mind.
or repair daily.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
On top of that, 48 of 50 states have a truck or SUV as the top-selling vehicle in 2020.
Ew. Can't confirm that one.
So, what does
got
everybody
both.
drive here?
Well,
Can we go first?
It don't
yes,
matter.
please.
I got a 21 Trail Boss
Okay.
and a 19 Escape.
Okay, SUV.
Yeah.
All right.
Escape. You got to say it right. Sorry. Escape.
That's right. That's what I'm saying. Drew, what about you?
I have a lovely, ever so lovely 05 Silverado
Whoop, whoop.
and a 2011 Camry
Okay.
Nice.
and a motorcycle that I haven't ridden over a year.
There you go. Yeah.
Ridden road. I don't know.
Ridden.
That's
Ridden.
good riddance.
Road.
Good riddance.
Road. It's like one of those words that's really funny.
I haven't ridden it.
Mm-hmm.
Get hit by a plane. All right, JT. I bet we can guess what you drive. It's probably white. It's probably white. I tell you that.
Right now, it's not too white. It's very dirty.
Oh.
It's a Beetle, isn't it?
It's not. Yeah.
It's a moped.
A Mini?
That
a
is a
Miata?
good
Oh,
song.
yeah.
Downtown.
Mazda Miata.
It is. So the Mazda was supposed to be my backup vehicle, and that is a Mazda B2200, 1991, carbureted 5-speed. The AC is in there, but it doesn't work. Box
Does
steering.
the truck work?
The whole
It's in there.
truck does not work.
But it's a 460.
Yeah, but my daily driver is a 2018 Tundra. I
Nice.
love that thing.
Hell yeah.
And I didn't get the big one. I got the workers truck. So just the SR series.
Yeah.
Ain't nothing wrong with that.
Ain't nothing wrong with it. It
Nope,
gets me
no.
from point A to point B, and I fill it up every 4
Absolutely.
days.
Hey man, that
amen
truck
to
will
that.
last you. You know, you take care of it, that thing will last you.
You know, if you take care of yours, it'll last you. My dad has
Yeah.
an 05 Silverado, and I think he's coming up to like 220,000 on his. He's never taken it to the shop for like major stuff, you know.
Yeah. That's awesome.
You just have to maintain it.
Yeah.
Like, take care of your crap, you know?
Yeah, take care of your
Mhm.
stuff and it'll last long. So,
Yeah.
Last long time, honey.
Yeah.
Aw.
Honey, your Silverado is in mint condition, and it's probably my favorite body style of Silverados.
The
It's,
older,
Yeah.
yeah.
dad body style.
Just before it
That
tried
body
to
style.
they tried to make it beefy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. My brother had he had the same body style for his first vehicle.
Yeah.
Spoiled rotten turd. But yeah, I love that truck. Honestly, I just love trucks. I can't go back. I went from a 2010 Ford Mustang to an Escape, and then we traded it in for, I think it was a 13 Silverado. And it was a lemon, so we had to get rid of it.
Mm.
Yeah. But then we got an 18 Silverado, and then we traded that in for the 21
There you go.
Trail Boss. Yeah.
Well, this
Can't stop.
Has been another successful installment of Things That Make You Go.
Oh.
Leaving that one in.
Yep.
Ooh.
All right, now back to the hot topic of the segment or the episode here.
Yeah, the most, if in my opinion, the most controversial subject on our podcast we have ever had. And Jessica, I would like to say thank you for joining us. But your time is up because I needed to be a 1-for-1, not a 1-for-2.
Wow.
Jessica, just so you know, he's not the boss.
Wow.
He's what? What did you say?
You're not the boss
He's
of
not
me.
the boss.
Didn't I tell you that earlier today? You're not the boss of me, but it came out, you're not my boss.
Oh yeah, I did.
It was so awkward. Whoopsie.
That's okay.
Sorry.
I am
Again,
the
I'm
fattest
just going to crawl on my
I
skin.
have ever been in my life.
Oh, this is
Boom,
not
boom,
a new
boom.
contract.
Somebody call 911 because I'm fat and
And out of shape. Hand me that
There
bag.
must be a delay. All right. So, what's your take? I already know what your take is. Pineapple and pizza.
Pineapples
What does it
belong
do?
on pizza. It's savory and sweet. You cannot go
Yes.
wrong with a big old chunk of ham and pineapple, man.
Or pepperoni,
I mean,
either way.
it's from
Okay, yeah.
Canada.
But I eat mine with ham.
Yeah.
It's from Canada. Come on, man.
No. See, it's okay with Canadian bacon, but I'm saying ham chunks.
Mm-mm.
Yeah. It's different. And
Better than barf chunks. I'll tell
yeah,
you
it
what.
is better. And like it needs to be smothered in mozzarella cheese. And we all here know what cheese does to me.
It doesn't.
It's not good.
It doesn't do to you what it did to me. Okay.
Clean up in JT's pants.
No, that's exactly what it does.
Yeah. Well.
It doesn't like bind
but
people.
false
It
alarm.
binds most people up, but it doesn't do that for me.
No. Yeah.
False alarm. That was just sweat.
What I'm talking about is, what happened to me over by the bookshelf. I feel so bad for all those supplies.
I miss this.
You didn't, because apparently I looked in your soul when it happened.
That's right.
That was the shot heard around the world.
Honestly.
I hate my life still, but
Oh
you've
my
got to
gosh.
laugh. You've got to laugh at stuff like that.
I mean, you were melting on the inside, and we were melting on the outside.
Now, JT, I just want you to, in your head, picture this.
Okay.
Okay, you're sitting in your truck. You look down in your lap at the package of Oreos. You stare ever so intently at them.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Your head comes up and goes to the left, and you're looking outside your driver's window, just anticipating having to go back to the office.
Yep.
Then you glance back down at your Oreos, and right before you ask me to hand you the bag, because you've decided to take the Oreos into the office,
Uh-huh. Give me the bag.
yes.
Yeah.
Yep.
That's how it went in your head. Mine was, can I do the rest of my job without these Oreos? I looked back down
No.
at the Oreos, and I looked at you. I was, hand me the bag. 'Cause there's no way I'm gonna make it through the rest of the day without.
Can
some
I
O-
do the rest of my job without hurting someone if I don't have these Oreos in my life?
Honestly.
I remember when it used to be cigarettes. Like, oh, do I have my pack on me?
This morning it was that. Oh shit. He's coming with the question. Let me put my patch on.
Yeah, but do you know how many dumb questions I get in a day?
Yeah, you came in and he said, "Oh no, not you two," and I'm like, "Oh, it's gonna be a morning."
That's because I brought him a customer.
Oh,
but
yeah.
every customer you bring me,
Get hit by a twine.
yeah.
And then I brought him the same one like 3 times a day. I'm sorry.
Oh my gosh, why? Yes, you did.
I did.
I
Yikes.
even looked at the ceiling while she was talking, going, I really hate my life right now. Why am I even here?
So to circle back to the topic at hand, JT, if you are not for pineapple, what topping would you replace it with? What's your, hey, this is just delicious, I love it.
Yeah, your favorite pizza ever.
Okay, now wait a minute. I have to substitute pineapple with something, right? Because my favorite pizza ever is just cheese.
God, you are so basic.
Is it because it's white?
Now hold on.
Okay.
Technically, it's brown.
If I go to
Not
CC's, it's the spinach Alfredo with cheese.
White
you
sauce?
could have any pizza in the world from anywhere.
Okay.
It doesn't matter.
Then it's gonna be the chicken bacon ranch
From
pizza. I don't care. I don't care who it's from. Put bacon, put chicken.
Oh,
I
right.
will slather that
eat it.
ranch all over it. It's great.
honey.
Based me like a
Put it in
turkey
front
daddy.
of me.
Mm-hmm. Rub it here.
How about you,
I eat it.
Drew? What's your
My all-time favorite.
And that'll do it for the
Take,
JT and Drew show. Thanks for coming.
okay?
Any pizza, I really don't care. With pineapple on it is just delicious.
Okay.
Oh,
It could be
God.
barbecue pizza. It could be pepperoni. It could be ham. It could be Canadian bacon. It could be sausage. It could be meat lovers. It could be taco. It could be this. I don't care.
Throw
I just
pineapple
like
on it. God, what is wrong with you?
Yeah, I put pineapple on my burger too, though. I like that.
That is delicious.
what.
I
If you
will put
grill
it-
it,
Yep. Yep.
I'll put an egg on mine.
fried egg.
Yeah, that's good too.
Have you ever put peanut butter on your burger?
All right, guys. Final topic. This was brought up by one of our listeners. I'll read it here. I printed it out. Our listener here would like to know, which way do you wipe?
That's a real question.
Yeah, it's right here. Oh, right here.
That's
I want to know who asked this
Interesting.
question.
okay.
Yeah. So
We'll go with Jessica.
Which way do I wipe?
Yep.
Front to back.
Front to back. Okay.
Yeah.
I'm more of a back to front kind of guy.
Back to front.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I have. Never mind.
Yeah.
I can't
Yeah,
do that.
yeah,
No,
I can't do that.
Weird. It's definitely side to side.
Yeah.
As always, we'd like to say thank you for stopping by and listening to the podcast.
Yeah, we realized that you could have been doing anything way more productive, but you chose to waste your time with us.
We look forward to talking about absolutely nothing with you next time.
If you have any questions or topics you'd like us to cover, please email us at
JT and Drew Show at gmail.com or visit our Facebook page at www.facebook.com/JT Drew Show.